Long ago, in a land filled with magic, where heroes were abundant and danger was ever present, 4 adventurers met on a quest. Unlikely though the friendship might have been, they quickly found that together they were unstoppable. Realizing this, they formed an alliance, the likes of which the world has never known. This is their story. The brave Ranger Crimson and his unpredictable wild magic. The stealthy and deadly rogue Telemachus. The caring and talented bard Tarynn. And the cunning and silver-tongued warlock Mordai. And now as the party ventures forth, never knowing what awaits, legend will hold the tales of the Valor Collective.
Who's winning?
Yeah, who's winning? Hello?
Brandon.
There we go. Alrighty, and welcome back. Hold on, wait. I'm not playing music. What's wrong with me? This is for you, Saja.
Thank you.
Were you over today?
Uh-huh.
Were you, Taters? Mm-hmm. Tiana came and joined us. Cool.
Yeah.
It has some kinks. It needs to be workshopped. Yeah, I was like,
But it's great having more characters
cool.
come to the show, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. I went over there and talked with her on lunch, and she was really hyped about it.
Alrighty, well, without further ado, welcome back to the Valor Collective in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
The Valor Collective. I mean, Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Except that we're not doing Dungeon of the Mad Mage because we're on this super awesome overworld side quest right now. It's taking away from the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Well, it's not taking away, it's adding to it.
No. Not taking away, adding to it. Back to like record him say it and then just play it back.
Saja, can you name the name of the song?
This is the Skyrim travel music.
Yes, Secunda.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Nerd.
Yeah, I resemble that.
Hey, thank you. Alrighty. So, we'll just kind of kick it off on the last time. What a cute dog you have there. Being such a good girl. I love it every time you say her name, her tail wags. You know the name. You know your name. Good dog. Alright. So, on the last time, in the adventures of the Valor Collective, the party had just finished discussing their new quest with Grand Magister Albus and decided to teleport to Waterdeep later in the night. However, before leaving, the party made a stop by the Church of Hope in Baldur's Gate, where there was a protest happening outside of the temples. 2 sides fighting for what they should believe in. One side, the red, fighting for the continued right to believe in whatever they want. The other side, the blue, fighting for the continued right to believe in Bane and Baal and other. Wait, no, that's wrong. The red side fighting to abolish the worship of evil gods like Bane and Baal. And the other, I skipped the line. And the blue fighting for the continued right to believe in whatever they want. Bane, Baal, Asmodeus, Helm, whoever it may be. After a short intervention from Mordai, the Flaming Fists, the military patrol of Baldur's Gate, arrived and broke up the protest, stating that the laws of Baldur's Gate will remain intact and people will be allowed to believe in whatever it is they wish, as that is the Baldurian way.
Ball. Sorry.
And you had inspiration, right? I'm just kidding. The party reconvened at Barbar. And made some small talk with Logan, one of the leaders of Team Red, before Tully promptly stole from him.
Oh, yeah.
And the party then teleported to Waterdeep to await their letters of recommendation. Crimson made a quick stop to check in on Adrian after they teleported to Waterdeep to make sure he was still working out and keeping up his physical regimen. And after Adrian assured he was, Crimson went back to the Tower of Order for a restful night of sleep. In the morning, the party had collected their 2 letters of recommendation from a slightly sleech impedimentized Cornelius, and Telly went to work forging the handwriting for the next 3 hours. After the absolutely perfect replicas were complete, Varis teleported everyone to Candlekeep remembering the teleportation sigil, the last time he was there, where they explored the pillars of pedagogy for answers to the many questions they had. A number of hours went by as the party combed through the public section of Waterdeep, with thanks to the help of the sign language public librarian, trying to help them communicate as much as they could. The whiteboard being the best solution to the problem. And they were able to answer quite a lot of questions they had. However, 2 topics were not quite found in the public section. A matter regarding a certain fungal disease, and anything on the Book of Vile Darkness. Having their letters of recommendation in hand, they were allowed entry past the Emerald Door into the ancient archives of Candlekeep, where they hope to find the rest of their answers. So, with that.
Is it silent in here too? Sorry.
Please. Telly, as you step through this chamber, before you even step through the chamber, never mind. I'll continue with this first. As you push open the door, as the Emerald Door is pushed open for you, you are quickly ushered inside a transferring chamber, as the Emerald Door is quickly shut behind you. This narrow, enclosed corridor connecting itself to another chamber beyond, preventing any outside onlookers from the outside world. A sturdy metal wheel locks the door in front of you, like it would be attached to a very secure safe.
Cool.
It begins to spin on its own before opening up. As if not having opened up in quite some time, dust from the cracks of the door flitter.
Right on. Cool.
And the chamber beyond what you witness is a vast library, extending in all directions as far as the eye can see. Towering shelves filled to the brim with ancient tomes and scrolls that line the walls, reaching up to the ceilings before disappearing into the shadows above. The air is heavy. The scent of parchment and faint aroma of aged leather bindings fills your nostrils. Soft ambient light bathes the chamber, emanating from numerous ornate chandeliers that hang from the suspended ceiling above. The illumination creates a very ethereal glow that enhances such a mystical atmosphere within. As you further delve into the room, you notice that the floor is made of a polished stone, meticulously etched with intricate patterns and symbols. And I would like you all to make an Arcana check for me.
Oh boy.
First roll of the night.
Arcana. Okay.
Arcana.
Nice.
Oh yeah. I know everything that is this.
Oh, not me. Me either. But that makes sense. 6.
It's pretty good for you.
It's not bad.
6?
10. 13.
23.
Ooh.
Okay, so Mordai.
The rest of us are like, huh?
From the modern eye, it may just seem to be just a very done up tile, very fancy tile. It's ornate, the carvings, it is just of the highest quality. But Mordai, you see that these are more arcane veins of magical energy. These are actually arcane sigils that are interfused with the tile throughout this sanctum. They are, and by the you can tell by the way with the 23, you can actually tell the school of magic they're from. You can see signs of evocation inscriptions and abjuration inscriptions. Probably some sort of warding mechanism, as this is a very what's the word? Just confidential area. All of these are arcane sigils ready to go off. You're not really sure what they might entail, but you know that their primary purpose is somewhat of a warding mechanism to prevent something from happening.
As we're walking, I'll mention to the party, there's some powerful defensive magics here.
Defensive of what?
Imagine the knowledge contained here.
Well, it's probably like from stealing.
I'd imagine so.
It's fair. If we spend 3 hours here, I don't need to steal it. That's all I'm saying.
So, among the vastness of the greater library, you catch small, little animatronic figures hurriedly sorting books and replacing inkwells beside reading stations placed off to the sides of the library. You can almost imagine them like, you guys have seen Soul? You can almost imagine like the file cabinets, right? And like these Muldrons, these animatronic figures are essentially, they all can fly, but they look like Mike Wazowski if he was like a little robot with wings. And they're all like flying around. You can hear their clicking and clacking, and they work with high speed efficiency. They're like a well-oiled machine as they're just restocking, replacing, keeping everything orderly as need be. And then a hooded figure begins to approach you. In all white, you can't really see the face. It's kind of cast in a shadow from the ambient light around, but it looks to be some sort of, maybe like a nun of some sorts. Just white hood, white robes. You only see really the fingertips as it goes all the way down to the floor. Hands placed like this.
Do the fingertips look humanoid?
Humanoid,
Do they look
yeah.
elderly?
They look pale and fleshy. And flesh-like, yeah. And this hooded figure approaches you all. Hello, esteemed guests of...
Do you have inspiration?
Sorry.
That's so stupid.
And then, like rewinding a VHS. Hello, esteemed guests of Lord Kelvin, Blackstaff Arunson. I am an avowed guide, sworn to help you find what you might need, with the most expert of assistance. It is my pleasure to serve you. Where would you like to begin? Very composed, perfect posture. It doesn't react or anything.
We need help researching fungal diseases and infections among humans and beasts.
You see he kind of reaches inside and grabs out a small leather-bound notebook and a little inkwell with a feather. Begins writing down notes. Yes, anything else?
What was the other thing?
Do you have any information on the Book of Vile Darkness?
The Book of Vile Darkness.
Any perceptible change to her facial expression?
None.
Can I do a perception check to see if she's like real? I don't want to investigate because I don't want to touch her. I want to see if she's real, if she's...
Sure,
Okay.
go ahead and roll
Okay.
a perception check.
I'm just running. I have advantage on perception checks because of the shield.
Correct.
Great. 7 and an 8. So an
Solid.
8 plus...
That's one what?
So much information.
Right. Well, I mean, I have... God damn it, I have to find this stupid page. Okay, I love D&D Beyond, but I'm really bad at it.
Can we turn down the music just a little bit, Brandon?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Perception. So I think it's just like an 18. It's a 19.
Okay.
An 8, so a 19.
She seems like a very stoic human.
But she seems real.
She seems real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you tell us her name? Okay.
She just said, I am an avowed guide. That's all she said. Alright, is there anything else that I can find for you?
It wasn't, right?
And then as you guys are thinking, actually, Telly, you start to feel like your body starts to feel a little achy, and almost kind of like you've just finished like the day after you finished like a workout session, like at the gym. Like your body feels like a little sore. You're not so much tired or anything. It's just an uncomfortable level of soreness that kind of just starts to become noticeable.
Okay.
Okay, and then I want you to make a
Dexterity.
No,
Dexterity.
It's nothing to do with dexterity.
Stealth.
It has nothing.
Can you
Sleight of
sneak
hand?
Can you sneak a remote smuggle infection? It can't see me.
Stealthily.
Go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. I want to say it's +2.
That sounds right.
Abilities, saves, and senses. Con save +2.
Yeah.
A 1.
+2.
But doesn't a natural 1 count on
This is
saves or?
automatic fail.
It's the only time a natural 20 or natural 1 technically rules as written counts as an automatic success or automatic fail is on an attack roll.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay.
so it's a 3.
Anything else? Yeah. Anything else is homebrew.
So it's a 3. It's
Um,
a 3. Mwah, mwah.
You immediately gain a level of exhaustion,
Okay.
and you start to hear. This is just on par for Telly, dude.
Oh my
How do
gosh.
I?
You start to hear another. It's not Xanthoria.
Oh no!
You have another voice
It's
in your
not.
head.
Tell
It's
him to
not.
kill himself. No.
It's not Xeno.
Now the third voice.
It's
in
not
your head.
Xeno. It's not Xanthoria.
It's not me.
But it's not you.
It's-
But you hear just like a sickly voice just saying the same word over and over again. Xanthoria.
Xanthoria. Xanthoria.
And it's almost kind of like an echo. It's like a pulsed whisper.
Ooh, pen.
I want this guy and Zeno to just be fighting in the
Get the fuck out!
Xeno.
Fighting over this vessel.
You just absolutely
Out.
cannot think because they are just yelling at each other.
Xeno.
They're not even fighting over the vessel. They're literally just like, can you fucking scoot over, please? Like, you're so close to me.
Like,
You're so
hey,
nice. Like,
Varys,
both
you have a
on my
fucking,
homestead.
do you have a fucking
give me
not
6
text
inches.
box
Yeah,
spell?
yeah, right.
Give a,
A silence.
give me
Cast
a
silence
fucking
on
mind
me.
blank. Give me a mind blank. You know that, right?
What's today's date?
It's spelled
5/8.
Xanthoria.
Ooh, I guessed right. Nice.
It's probably fine.
It's probably nothing.
And this all is kind of happening at the same time with your level of exhaustion, with your muscles becoming sore.
Do I look exhausted on the outside? Like, did they see me all of a sudden, like, get really tired, or
What are your passive perceptions?
Oh, a lot.
she would probably catch it?
Tarynn would probably.
Passive perception?
Yeah.
22.
Yeah, Tarynn would for sure.
Okay.
I think
I'm
yours.
just I'm not saying anything yet because I'm a stranger.
So Mordai wouldn't. Mordai's more interested in getting answers. Do you know?
17.
17. You would too. Yeah, I would say Crimson and Tarynn would both notice like a significant posture difference.
Yeah, I'm gonna
almost
flavor it
immediately.
like you know when you get a headache all of a sudden, but someone's talking to you and you're like,
Yeah,
he's gonna do that.
have a moment.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Does it just happen just in this
Yeah.
moment right here?
Yeah,
Okay.
as the Avowed is the Avowed is written down the fungal plague, and the Avowed has written down the book. She's still writing the book of Avowed. This is happening while she's writing
Okay.
things down in her leather-bound book. This happens.
Okay. I'm just gonna
so
have
you-
a second where I'm and I'm just gonna keep listening. I'll pull my cloak over me a little bit tighter.
I'm just gonna go nudge until I'm just like, got a night.
I'm not gonna say anything because she's still.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything.
And she writes it,
Stranger.
and then she finishes writing it down, fungal plague, book of Darkness, and she just wants to make sure. Is there anything else that you'd like us to research?
Is there anything anybody's just curious about? We're here. Seemingly endless knowledge.
Do you have any information on Asmodeus?
Lots.
I feel like he's a popular god though. That would have been in the other section.
It might be.
Maybe not.
Except for the restricted information.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that's true. Oh then.
I see. So I have a fungal plague. I have the Book of Vile Darkness. I have Asmodeus. Is there any other information that piques the curiosity of our esteemed guest?
I'm gonna write. No, I'm writing something down because Telly is smart enough to not think it or say it. He's gonna write down Xanathar and pass it to Tarynn.
I'm just gonna unfold it and show it to her. Anything on this topic?
Is there anything else that our esteemed guests would like to research?
Do we want anything having to do with those 7 liches? Was it the Twisted Ring?
Yes.
Oh.
That would be really good.
Twisted ring. The twisted ring. That. Good idea, Taryn.
Oh, you know, not just a hat rack.
Oh, I heard that before. It sounds so familiar.
A wise man once said.
The Twisted... And she, again, every time you add something, she repeats like the entire list. And she goes, a fungal plague, the book of vile darkness. Shit.
Yeah, Telly's like just so over it.
The book of vile darkness.
You gonna say it out loud? Okay, cool. She's hip. She's cool.
She got the vibe check. She got, and the twisted rune. Is there anything else our esteemed guests would like to research? Oh, Asmodee. Is there anything else our esteemed guests would like to research while in the ancient archives?
You think they have any information on Madgoth?
Wouldn't he be in the Twisted Root?
I don't know if he was in the Twisted
I mean, we don't know for sure. You can assume, but we don't really know. Alright, you can add it. It's fine.
Do you have any information on Madgoth? A lich.
Say the list again. Say the list again.
So, I have a fungal plague, the book of vile darkness, Asmodeus, the twisted room, and Madgoth a lich. Is there anything else our esteemed guests would like to research today?
No, for the
Should we
only
see
goals, that's
something
it.
else
That's
that way
fucking
they
it.
say the list again?
I like this list. It's a fun
Yeah.
game.
It's like Simon Says, just remember.
Like a little memory jogger, yeah. I'm trying to remember.
Do we want to look up Mistra? I'm thinking of so many topics that maybe we could have looked up before. But we always hear
Mystery?
about Mistra, the chosen of Mistra.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Kelvin.
that...
Thanks, Kelvin.
Oh, that's
And-
the...
We
the
met
god
somebody
that-
else who was, right?
The woman who was kind of our guide in the Undermountain.
She was the
Joe's-
chosen before Kelvin?
Well, no,
Hesselhoff?
No, it was Josira.
yeah, that's the name that keeps coming out in my
Who's
head.
that?
Jasira. Jasira was the is the face in the wall.
Yeah, the face in the wall in the desert. She appeared in the wall in like the clay wall.
Did we ever interact with her again?
A couple times, I think.
Yeah.
A few times we have. I don't know if we have since then. though.
Remember Kestelhart, Vestelhart?
Yeah, that's what her bed was. That's her?
Yeah.
Oh, it's really the same.
Jasira Kestelhart.
So I was right too.
You were.
You're right. Crystal.
We haven't talked to her in a long time.
No, we haven't.
Do we want to look anything up about Mistra or Josira or? I bet Kelvin's in here.
Good
I'm
nerd.
sure it is.
Should we say them one at a time?
I'm sorry. Is there a chair? If they're gonna keep, can I sit down?
Yes, of course. The study rooms are off to the sides of the library.
Kelly's just gonna sit. Just gonna sit
On the
cross-legged and just hold his head.
That will suffice. Is there anything else our esteemed guests would like researched before I go?
Or
Yes.
is there a way to reverse becoming a lich?
Reverse lichdom.
Ooh, I like that.
Also, don't you want to fix your tail? Just hold it. He's just holding his head and listening to her talk, and he's gonna say that.
I mean, do you?
Tamara, you're writing all this down, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're writing the whole list down every time he says it.
Hey, yeah.
4 pages of notes, just the same 6 bullets. His tail like sinks a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know yet.
Information about Mistra and her chosen.
You don't have to do it, mate, but if you're gonna find out information, here's a place. And God damn it, just say it so she writes it down.
I will wait until you are finished with your necessary topics.
Oh my god. Telly at this point has like all the voices. He's just mad and tired.
Do you want to look at
Is there anything else our esteemed guests would like to research?
Controlling wild magic.
Is there anything else our esteemed guests would like to research?
Can we smoke?
You see like a crack of humanity. like the palpable sense of like, am I being fucked with?
Can we smoke in here?
You can now.
We haven't heard that number.
Oh, Chris, yeah. My friend Chris earlier today was like, he posted a Facebook and he's like, hey, if anyone has experience in D&D,
Yes.
message me. And I was like, oh, I got you. And so we were talking about D&D earlier, and I told him, I was like, I'm literally streaming tonight. And so he just
What's
followed
up,
the channel.
Chris?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, welcome.
It's our family time.
That.
Well done.
What was I talking about? Oh, if you
I
could
said,
smoke.
can you smoke?
She just looks at you and says, you can certainly try.
Oh.
I'm gonna pull out a cigarette and I'm just gonna light it.
Doesn't light.
Doesn't light.
I mean,
I'm not gonna waste it. Put it back in my bag. I'm gonna pull out my flask. I'm gonna drink.
Yeah, no fire.
yeah,
Okay.
we're in a
Happens.
chamber for
Yeah,
highly
full of
flammable.
Makes sense.
Kind of
Materials.
suck if it'll.
He's gonna drink.
Flames.
Is there
Do you need the list?
is there anything else our esteemed guests would like to research?
If we think of something later, may we approach you again? I worry we may be forgetting something in this moment.
It is possible, but that is up to the Keeper of Tomes.
I have something actually.
Yes.
The Rod of Law.
The Rod of Law.
And possible locations.
Possible locations.
Pieces. For me to use.
Go.
For me to for you.
Brandon, you're so funny.
Brandon, yeah, you're hilarious, dude.
Is there anything else?
He's alright.
Is there anything else that our esteemed guests would like to research while in the ancient archives?
Kelly, anything else?
No.
Should we start with that thing?
I think so.
Very well. Like a magician puts the we actually don't make that noise here. There's no fire
Okay.
in the ancient archives.
I
No need.
apologize.
That is okay. I will be back with your expert momentarily, although they will come in order depending on topic and subject. Please make your way to the study chamber on either the left or right side and await your expert.
Which one is Telly and?
I'm on the floor.
oh.
Tally just
okay.
popped the squad.
What color is it in these rooms? Are they all just like gray?
Yeah, it's all very monochromatic. Very, very monochromatic. Yeah. Yeah, no red.
Lending itself to studying.
Yeah. Yeah, you can like it's like one of those things where it's like the color is lit by like the ambient lighting from the chandeliers, where you can see like kind of like the dust particles like swimming around and like the rays of light, kind of that sort of vibe. Yeah, and the avowed guide just takes a very solemn bow, turns around, and her silent footsteps just fade into the distant vastness that is this, that are the ancient archives. You guys have like a bit of free time to go to any of the study rooms or talk about what you would like to do or what you're hoping for.
Can we go sit down?
Yeah.
You alright?
Let's go sit down.
You need water.
I'll get
So I
water.
drink from your flask.
That was more because I was pissed at her saying the same fucking shit every 5 minutes. I can't stand it.
If you really want to smoke, you can take this. And I pull out my little bubble pipe.
Oh. I'm gonna. Telly's gonna smile and he's gonna like put your hand back. Thank you, mate. I've got another fucking voice in my head.
How many is that?
Well, it's 3 including mine.
What are they saying?
Saying Xanthoria just over and over again.
Never heard.
And also I feel like
Xanthoria.
shit.
Have I heard of
Do
the
we-
Xanthoria
Yeah.
at all?
Why did you ask to look it up?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want you to say it again.
Why did you write it down?
Fuck. Telly's gonna take a big swig of his flask.
You should ask her when she comes back.
She's not coming back, mate.
Well,
Well,
then
we can ask
we're gonna have to
our
talk to the keeper of the
experts.
times, whatever they say.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Gone.
You just shout in the library.
Is it Dick
Excuse me!
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Can I turn into a bat?
No. It does. You try to,
Oh, so
and,
no
and you
magic.
see,
Okay.
and you see wings as
Okay.
they come back into your body.
Motherfucker. The one time I want to use fucking magic. Let's go sit down.
I cast a message on Telemachus. Full voices. Does anything happen?
You don't hear anything.
Crimmy, I know you're not trying to do nothing stupid right now.
I don't do anything.
Xanthoria.
experts are out there live here. Figure?
What was that?
All these experts live here in this library?
Hmm.
They're pretty boring and
Perhaps.
sad and quiet and lame.
Yeah, let's get big book.
Yeah, too many
Chambers.
books.
It would be peaceful. It would be wonderful.
It's
You're
not
not-
very peaceful for you right now.
You're not telling me you would want to live here.
I would absolutely live here. Haven't you seen my apartment?
Well, yeah, but I would have thought you would have wanted to get out and explore more and have a little more excitement in
I
your
would,
life.
but I would come back
Yeah.
and learn. I'm smart as fuck.
Ah! No?
He's pretty smart. Not as smart as Varis.
Yeah.
Varis is here, right?
quite as
Oh yeah, Ferris.
Varis is here. Did he not look up anything in the public area? Because I
Oh.
have his name down here with a question mark.
Oh.
Varys has been here before. He has all his questions answered.
Oh, okay.
His personal questions.
I gave him like some info on like a plane shift.
And
or
well,
something.
he is an Order of the Scribes wizard. He already has plane shift in his. It took him 14 minutes
Oh.
to copy it down. So Order of the Scribes wizards can copy down a spell in their spellbook equal to 2 minutes per level casting time. But like somehow it doesn't. Yeah. For all sakes and purposes, it was done in 14 minutes. He has plane shift in his spellbook.
Lit.
And then you asked him to learn the gate spell, and he said, "I'm unfortunately not quite that powerful at the
No
moment."
can do, homeboy.
Yeah, but he said if it's but Varis thinks of you very highly, right? And so Varis told you last session, if it's that important to you, maybe I can stick around a little longer and get stronger with you. Because the fastest way that the fastest way he's ever gotten stronger has been traveling with you guys, and since he went back home, he's like I think 3 or 4 levels behind you guys right now.
Yeah.
I think he's level 13. Yeah,
I said 14.
13. Yeah. 13 or 14. One of those. Yeah. So he's like, I can either like hyperbolic time chamber, or I can travel with you guys. But as far as I know, when I travel with you guys, that's when I improve,
strong fast.
That's when I improve the most.
Dope.
Yeah. So that's what Varis said, and Varis didn't really have anything to add to that situation. He's a smart guy. He can usually figure it out himself. But
Thank you for the contract.
actually, as you all were asking those questions, he was like, "You don't know about that." Nah, he's not that cocky. He might be a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Smart, do you know about Xanthoria?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Uh,
Never heard of that one.
It's Aaron, he's not that smart.
Neither do you, and neither will you, since
not
you didn't
that
ask the
smart.
librarian for
Yeah,
it.
I
Who
heard.
asked you?
I heard Taryn's into the not as smart, anyways.
What?
Just kidding.
I'm gonna stand. I'm gonna like scoop myself. Brandon caught what I was throwing. Brandon caught what I was throwing.
I couldn't understand what you said. What did you say?
He said Taryn's into the not as smart anyways. Because you said he's not as smart as Varis, and then I was like, see Taryn, he's not that smart, dissuading you away from him. And then he was like, well, Taryn's
I'm just being
not
a
as smart.
jackass.
Well, so am I. You caught me.
I just smile and give you a nudge.
We're
yeah.
man-broing it up right now.
Yeah.
You smile and give me a nudge, and I'm gonna like. Go.
Okay. So what we'll do here, we have a lot of different topics.
Yes.
But we don't really have a clear way in deciding them. So how many topics were there in total?
10.
10. Who wants to roll me a d10?
We can just go in order.
Yeah.
Roll me a d10.
The library burns down.
8, which is reverse lichdom.
Reverse. Okay. So. You see in an elven male. This time, this one is in all black robes, not white at all black. And this one, he has his head put back. A high elf, light purple in skin, silver eyes, with long white hair that goes past the shoulders. Very pointy ears, very large forehead.
Make his face.
So the hair is like slicked back,
Take
like
us a
straight,
picture,
like
man.
it's like straight hair, but it's like slicked back, and it falls down the back.
Lucius Malfoy.
Hello,
Yeah,
it's
sure,
nice
sure.
to meet you all. My name is Varion. I am the expert on lichdom and undead here in the ancient archives. I have a couple of books for you here. Actually, one of the avowed. They told me that we were trying to find out anything about a thing called Twisted Rune. We know that is a claw of liches several hundred years ago. We know that you had questions on reversing lichdom transformations, etc., etc. I believe those were the only things about undead that we had. Forgive me if I'm mistaken.
Unless Zarian is some kind of undead.
I know we have
Xanthoria.
and then there was Magoth as well, I believe.
Yes.
And he's, I think, he's not a well-known lich, but we have heard whispers of his lichdom before. So we have this book that kind of all encompasses it all. And you can see like the glossary. He points to where like the certain chapters are with like lichdom in the process of becoming it, and certain famous liches that are well known. Unfortunately, we don't have. You want to get through, Indy?
Come here, girl.
Indy. I've skimmed over the book again, and he goes. And as he skims over the book, you see his eyes glow.
It's like Owl House.
Yes, I've skimmed over the book again, and I don't see anything about reversing lichdom. There's still a lot we don't know about even becoming a lich, even in the ancient archives. We do. The thing that we do know, actually, this kind of ties into another one of your questions. A little less of my expertise, more in the aspects of the greater evil, more just in the aspect of the greater undead. But we've heard rumors that the path to lichdom is actually contained within the Book of Vile Darkness. We have never received the book, as there's only one known copy that we know of. But we don't really have any books on it, but we have compiled rumors and suggestions that could maybe aid in that. But in terms of how to become a lich, we don't really have a lot of that information. More or less how to reverse that process. I mean, maybe a wish. Maybe you could possibly wish for it. I mean, the sky's the limit with that, right? I could give you that. Any expert will probably mention the wish spell, because it's pretty much capable of anything. But the main methodology of reversing lichdom is not really reversing it, it's just getting rid of the phylactery, and then killing the lich after the phylactery is done. In the lich's life, of course, no soul to reincarnate into, or anything like that. saves all of those souls from limbo. They get to go into the astral plane where they can soul into their proper afterlife. But
Saves the Lich's soul from limbo?
no. The souls that the liches have taken that are soaring in the phylactery. Yeah, they don't go anywhere. They
keep all those in there?
of course. Yeah, the souls cannot halt into the afterlife because they are being specifically cultivated and matured for revival of the lich's soul. So the lich, think of the lich as like a praying mantis, right? And the soul's a caterpillar, waiting in a glass jar, essentially. They die, and the process of eating and feasting on a soul usually takes, I think the quickest has been a day, the longest has been 10 days. One could say 1d10 days, maybe. Into the revival of the lich. But in terms of actually becoming one, again, there's been rumors of that information being in the Book of Vile Darkness. Some major liches that we know of are of course Vecna. There's I'm actually the two most famous liches are Vecna and what's his name? Tomb
Raider.
He's on the cover.
Of horrors, yes. Lich.
On the cover?
On the cover of a really famous campaign.
Miscus.
Acerak.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
How do you spell it?
Acererak.
Thank you.
Two very powerful, well-known liches who have ascended into demigodhood that we've known, and they seem to roam the multiverse however they please. So less of liches, more demigods at this point, but that's why they are so well known, because they are deities that gain power from servitude to those who worship undead, so on and so forth.
So did all liches need to read the Book of Vile Darkness in order to become a lich?
It's hard to say. We would assume so. The rumors that we do have on the Book of Vile Darkness do say that anyone who owns it, you can add or take away from it. So if you are the new owner of this book, you could take away information. You could add new information. It's all dependent on the cycle of chaos, of neutrality, of lawfulness, of anything. It seems to cycle through all the aspects of evil. It allows pretty much anything you can imagine from what we've heard of.
So it's like Wikipedia.
But we don't have really any information on it. It's not really something. It's usually in the hands of some greater being that wants it not found.
Do you?
The same goes for the Book of Exalted Deeds as well. Very hard to find. Usually in the hands of some celestial being.
There's like a good lich?
Oh yeah, no. The Book of Exalted Deeds. It's the yin to the yang of the Book of Vile Darkness. Similarly, how the Book of Vile Darkness is painful for some to even touch, the Book of Exalted Deeds is also painful for some to even touch, depending on how far gone you are or how far good you are. The Book of Exalted Deeds, though, known to be much more violent than the Book of Vile Darkness in terms of yes, smiting evil at even the slightest palpitation of evil around it. Takes no prisoners. That one, from what we've heard.
So if you were to remove information from either one of these books, is it as simple as just tearing the pages out? Or
Well, the book of Exalted Deeds you cannot alter.
Okay.
It is strictly prohibited. But the Book of Vile Darkness, it is just up to whoever is the current owner of the book, as we know it. But we do know for sure that or at least, well, I shouldn't say for sure because it's all speculation. But as far as our records go back, Lord Vecna is the creator of the book, as far as we know.
Of Vile Darkness.
Of the Book of Vile Darkness. He is the author, so to speak. Well, there are multiple authors, but our first accounts have told us that people have seen Vecna with the Book of Vile Darkness in hand. Pages made from the notebook. It's rumored that the notebook is made from flesh. The pages written in blood.
Checks out.
Apparently, the only type of ink the book will permit you to write in. Who is Lord Beckman again?
Is one of the most powerful witches?
Yes.
It was a lich who human became
Send it to.
became lich, became god, became demigod, and then all of the other gods didn't like that. Turns out a lot of the gods don't like it when mortals achieve godhood. And they made sure he knew that. And so he's remained a demigod. Not quite fully ascended. And so he, knowing as evil and as malicious as he is, I'm sure he's waiting for his opportunity. We haven't really seen him in quite the millennia. Yes, question.
How do liches interact with each other? Do they like each other? Are they on the same team, or are they?
It really depends, and that really kind of puts me back to another thing, because you talked about the Twisted Rune, right? The Twisted Rune, it's very rare. Very rare will liches be working together. Yes, very, very rare. The Twisted Rune is one of the only, I could count on one finger how many times liches have worked together. And at least in terms of that regard, like that coordination. We don't really know where they are right now, but it has been told that their influence among the material plane has been lessened. We haven't really seen them in hundreds of years. But they, I guess, well, we've never seen them, of course, but we haven't heard any updated accounts of seeing them. So the current rumor, as of right now, is that they are just scouring the multiverse with however they please. It seems the material plane is a little, when you get to that sort of level, I guess the material plane is less important. Yes.
Follow-up question.
Of course.
If it's atypical for them to work together, then a typical lich, one not a part of the Twisted Rune, are solo liches off doing their own thing, or are they constantly looking out to beat the other? Do they mind their own, or do they?
No, see, that's not really so much of a lich thing as that is still hanging on to the ties of the morality. Just because you become a lich does not really change your personality. From our studies shown, as he kind of looks into the light, he's like, definitely not a lich. Your personality from where you were as a mortal still bleeds into who you are as a lich. You are merely just not humanoid anymore. You're just undead, granted with the power of everlasting life. If you're hedonistic in your previous life, you would be a hedonistic lich. If you were a lich, if you were a humanoid who was bathed with joy and giddy, you'd be a lich to get along with. But as trends tend to set, most of those who seek lichdom aren't full of a lot of joy, unfortunately. Usually lust for power or some sort of enacting vengeance they want to live to see out.
I see.
Well, if someone turned you into a lich.
I suppose that could be a thing, but it's a pretty intentional thing. You can't really make someone a lich.
But you could be a good lich.
You could be. It is just not. You often don't. You don't. I mean, technically you could, but generally
You still gotta eat souls.
yeah. I mean, if
down.
you don't. You don't. Okay, so here's the thing. The liches don't have to eat souls, only if they want to be reborn. The only time they eat a soul is when their physical form dies. They eat the soul, and then the soul takes controls of some of the bones and other things and all that stuff. Does that make sense?
Another life, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But since they're undead, they can't get healed, right?
I mean, they can still die.
So if they stub their toe,
I mean, like
they
skeletons.
gotta eat a soul to fix the stubbed toe.
But like if you bash a skeleton's head in, it's gonna fall to the ground and not get back up.
Really?
Right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You think back to the ball-bearing skeleton.
Yeah, it was that easy, huh?
He's like, so they're
Are we talking about the same thing?
yeah, they're not life everlasting in terms of they're unkillable. They're life everlasting in terms of if you kill them, they can come back, provided they still have a phylactery with souls in it. And in order to collect a soul, the Lich has to keep killing, which generally, if you're joy on life, you're not really interested in
Right.
killing to maintain souls. It's generally a pretty evil practice. Involved, you know.
I'm assuming there's no limit to how many souls you can take as well. In this.
Not that we've known to be. No,
Okay.
not even.
Mate, what we're saying is that good people don't want to be liches. That's that.
But that doesn't mean that sometimes good people aren't liches.
I mean, what if it's a good person that kills a bad person and uses that soul of the bad person?
Sure, but do they need to become a Lich to do that?
Exactly.
I mean, no, but I'm just saying it's not impossible. If someone's power hungry enough.
Technically, you're right. It's not impossible.
I start to look cautiously at Varis.
I mean, check
Tell
that.
us.
Trap. Varys just goes.
Cautiously.
Varys goes.
Puffing up his chest a little bit.
His non-existent abs.
I imagine him with a beanpole.
Yeah. Yeah, but you had a question on the Twisted Rune. We do know a couple. We do know the 3 names of the Twisted Rune members. We don't know the rest. Rumors is that there's 7. We know 3 of them. We know, at least in our book, from our findings, and what we've got donated to us. There is Jaimana.
How do you spell that?
Jymahna.
Jyma.
Jymahna.
Drama.
Jaimana.
Jaimana.
Jaimahna. The emphasis is on the H.
No.
Jaimahna.
Kartak
Off over it.
Spellseer. Kartak.
Kartak Spellseer.
Yeah, Spellseer. And Izat.
Who's that?
We've met him.
Yes,
killed Mordai.
that name.
Oh yeah, he killed
yeah.
Mordai.
Is it
Yeah, he killed
EZAT?
me.
How do you spell Izat?
Izat is Ezzat.
What a bitch.
EZZAT.
He's
Yeah,
a bitch.
that guy's a dick.
Yeah.
That guy's one of the most powerful witches.
I mean,
Well,
you
I mean,
should
the
be so honored.
Well, he wasn't that tough.
I mean, I wouldn't say that the people in Twisted Room are the most powerful, right? I don't think any of them were as powerful as a Serac or Vecna, who ascended demigodhood. But, I mean, they're obviously very powerful in their own right, but they're just names that we've gotten down that we know that they're liches who have simply worked together under the name Twisted Room.
And these are the ones who work together to take on Halister? And won?
He doesn't know nothing about them taking on Alistair.
That's what we found in that book, I thought.
Twisted Room, maybe it's not in this one, Twisted Room subsection. And you see a little Maldron go. And he goes, can you see if there's any subsection on the Twisted Rune under the undead for me, please? And she go, and it just goes, you know, flies away, comes back a couple minutes later. He flips through this book. Eyes glow up again, super skin. What was the question again?
Twisted Rune, team of 7 liches that beat Halister.
Yes. Yeah, it was.
X8.
Well, they gave him a run for his money.
They
I don't
haven't
think
beaten him.
beat
They're fighting
They
him.
restrained him.
They were the closest anyone's ever gotten to defeat.
They did win. They technically won. So yeah. So the event. Oh yes. Oh, you're talking about that. Yes. So that event was known as Halister's High Harvest Tide. During the events, are you familiar with I assume you're familiar with the High Harvest Tide of Baldur's Gate.
Isn't that
What's
part of
going
it?
on right now?
Yeah, yes, exactly. During at the dawn of High Harvest Tide in the year of the Gauntlet, 1969, a couple hundred years ago, 3 members of the Twisted Rune managed to get the upper hand on Halister inside of his Undermountain. And rumor was they had a ring of a couple wishes to help get it done, but they didn't. So they.
Ring of a couple wishes?
Yeah, they used. There's an artifact.
I look at my decanter of endless water, just like.
There's a magical artifact known as the Ring of 3 Wishes. It allows you to cast the wish spell 3 times, but after that it just becomes a normal ring.
Oh, it doesn't recharge?
No, it doesn't recharge. And so they used a ring of multiple wishes, and to not defeat Alistair so much, but more to bind him and imprison him with powerful magic. So they imprisoned him. Were able to siphon. I believe that's how the Twisted Rune gained. Yep. Yes, that is how the Twisted Rune gained access to the Gate spell, and it's actually the Twisted Runes is responsible for the Gate spell becoming more wide known outside of just Alistair. Alistair was very keen on just keeping that information to himself and riddling his Undermountain with the spell. But the Twisted Rune, not quite as careful as Alistair. Information slipped, spell scrolls were found, incantations were found. Certain wizards came across it in word of mouth, coin, what have you. It ended up becoming more of a widespread. Now it's a practiced conjuration spell by the highest tier of wizardry and sorcery and warlock.
Yeah, only the highest tier. I look at it.
Varis just goes. I'll get there. Yes, and so the thing that we don't know is we don't know is how Alistair escaped that imprisonment, because usually magical imprisonment of that power is usually pretty permanent unless an outside force is enacted on it. We don't know how Alistair escaped. No one does. He just did. So I don't have any information. We don't have any information here. There, information has been donated to us that people who are knowledgeable of that happening. But yeah, and those 3 liches were the Germana, Kartak, and Izat who went with the wishes and subdued him, able to get what they needed.
Did you have any information on Madgoth?
Madgoth. You see the Modron sweating. Is there any subsection of Madgoth in any of the archives? Thank you.
Thank you.
Question what?
Yes, yes. Quite.
Not really a ton of information on this one. We know he was in his mortal life. He was a high noble. Off to the eastern side of. He didn't really live in the far in the what's it called? In the Sword Coast. But high noble says he has a penchant for exquisite tastes, a bit snobby. Not really much known.
Dramatic.
What?
A love of oversized coats and
Yeah.
spotted puppies.
Not so much spotted puppies, but it does say he does like creating his own homunculus. He likes having pets around. He did own. He was an actor in his mortal life. It says he was active in preserving the life of wildlife. He did really adore animals in his mortal life. Yes, and then apparently somehow it took a turn for the worse, and we don't really know why he became a lich, but sightings have been saying that ever since he's gone missing, that's been the rumor. I don't really have much more than that on him. I'm sorry. Not really that well known, I suppose.
I want to try. Did we already find out that message doesn't work?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Well, you wouldn't know that. Only
You wouldn't.
I messaged Tony.
You would know it.
I'm gonna hand down here and message Grimmy. I'll try to message Grimmy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say.
Sleight of handily?
Yes.
Make sleight.
Sleight of hand. Not getting coddly.
9?
This guy's smart. He's not gonna know what the fuck's going on.
And he just goes. He just smiles. Says nothing.
He knows we're talking smack behind his back.
No, I'm not gonna talk smack about him. I just want to
His
ask
hair,
a
am I
question.
right?
Yeah, nothing.
Just kidding.
You
Nothing
try to
happens.
message and Crimson acts like you don't exist.
Okay.
My passive investigation is 24, right? Or is it my
It's high. It would be 8 plus that number. 10 plus that number.
So 26.
Yeah, your passive investigation is 26.
Did I see Taryn do that?
Yeah, of course.
Probably.
Yeah,
Can
absolutely.
I use my innate detect thoughts to hear what she was trying to say?
Yes, because that's not a spell. It's an
Yeah.
ability. Yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna see her do that, and I'm gonna listen in. What did you try to say?
I tried to say,
It's clever.
should we tell him where Maggoth is? Because he said we don't really know where he is now, but we do. is what I wanted to message Crimmy about.
Interesting.
Because we have information about the topic that he doesn't know, but we do. So I don't know if we lend that information.
I'm
Or
gonna
keep it to ourselves.
say wait on it.
Okay.
Out loud.
Wait on what?
Nothing. And you're gonna be like
Yes, I'm kind of the expert on undead. If you had any other questions, I can go back to the Avowed, say I'm done, kind of tag out, but,
So you have a different expert for each topic.
yes.
What do we get if we tell you something that you don't know?
I mean, I would report it to the Keeper of Tomes. It would be fact-checked and doubled down over, and we'd see if it was, the claim was legitimate, if it came from a legitimate source. Of course, anyone always welcome in here is usually considered pretty credible. But it would go through the Keeper of Tones. He's kind of the person who keeps, he's kind of the person who keeps everything in check here.
Do we get anything? We get a free book or some shit?
The pride of contributing to the greater knowledge of the Forgotten Realms.
I'm gonna shrug at Taryn.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I found most of a horse.
Oh my god.
Okay. Sorry for your loss.
No, yeah, I found him. What would he eat?
Did it hurt when he died?
Probably.
You found most of a horse? Did it still? So I'm assuming you're asking me because it's undead.
Yeah.
Okay. Undead don't need to eat.
Oh, but wouldn't he like it?
They don't have tongues to taste or
Do
saliva
they not
to
have a
drink.
desire? Do they not have an appetite?
No. They just don't. They don't need any of those things.
He doesn't have eyes. Can he see?
Um.
Just little empty sockets.
See, that's an interesting question. Because we know that they can see. We believe that it is through the power of magic that they can still see. Through the undead
Disney
magic
answer.
of the magic.
I
Don't
accept.
question it.
I'm like, cause like the inner machinations of my mind are like, oh, they have blind sight. That's probably too OP.
I was like, oh, they have blindsight.
Yeah, I know. And it's
Where are
like,
you at?
guess who's coming with us to the Undermount?
That was smarter than you.
Bring only the skull with us.
Yeah, keep it in my backpack.
Strap it. I wear it as a helmet.
You guys just go, hey, Skriana, do you sense anything?
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, any other questions?
I don't think so. Do you want to add anything?
If I were to give a piece of information,
Sure.
I just worry that it might fall into the wrong hands.
Sure.
So I say this with a lot of caution. Is it okay if I choose not to give us credit for giving this information?
Yeah, I can submit it as anonymous.
Alright.
If I do, though, it might take some time to, if it's anonymous, it's harder for things to be credible when they're not anonymous. You know.
Yeah, I don't think you inside it in a paper or anything.
What did you say? Okay.
Can I investigate the room for that orb that Maggoth has used to look at us before?
You have blind sense?
Do I sense anything?
No.
Okay.
So I would let you know immediately when it was happening if
Okay.
it was anywhere within 10 feet of you.
Okay.
Because it is just an active, unless you're like unconscious.
Okay. Sorry, I'll put this.
No, you're good.
Okay.
We heard you mention that his whereabouts, Maggoth's whereabouts, are uncertain at this time, but a few months ago we did have almost an altercation with him.
Fascinating. Interesting. This will be great. This altercation with
Maggoth.
with
the lich.
Maggoth. And what is her name?
Anonymous.
Lucy.
Okay.
Tiffany.
Okay, Tiffany. Okay. And okay.
We ran into him in Hallister's Undermountain.
Oh, interesting.
On the 7th level down from the surface.
I peek at his handwriting. Is it legible at all?
Oh, it's super fancy cursive.
Oh,
Wow.
really? He's probably going so fast though, it looks like
Super
nothing.
fancy cursive. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you definitely can't read it.
No.
He has a fucking floating castle.
Floating castle, really?
Oh.
Interesting.
I believe it was on the 7th level of the Underdark.
Yes, I believe that was noted down. Yes. Oh. Double underline.
And he sucked donkey dick.
Sucks donkey. I'm not.
He had a cute cat.
He had a homunculus.
Punkiness. Actually, that we know that about him. He likes
I'm
to.
gonna try to pound it with
I
more
believe that comes from his love of animals. Yes.
Was there anything else?
His residence was booby trapped, so if anyone were to try him,
He had a
attack
fairy
him.
dragon.
A fair dragon. Okay.
I don't know if he knew of the fairy dragon. It was a while back, I can't recall.
Okay.
He had a really extreme collection of spell books. It seemed like maybe he was like, you know, harvesting wizards kind of thing.
And he loves to torture his
apprentices.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, singed them.
Yeah.
It was fucked up.
Yeah, burnt them right up.
He's a pretty bad person.
Yeah, I'm so impressed with you.
And then we jumped out the window like
That guy was beating in his
pussies.
bed, but we don't necessarily
We
know.
did
that
have a book of
torture.
jokes on the John.
Okay.
Oh, we have a book that belongs to him.
I know. I'm carrying it. I almost gave it to...
You have a book that belongs to him.
No, it belongs to me.
And it's a really important book.
Is it?
Please, you must donate that to Castle Keep. It would be an invaluable resource to information on him.
Only if you can tell us information on one more thing.
Well, I mean, whatever information you are esteemed guests of the. Did the Valve not quote that?
Forgot to give her
Only about
information.
I mean, if we have information, we'll. I mean, guests of Kelvin. I mean, that's very high honor.
Tiffany, Kelvin.
we
Kelvin,
have-
your friend Tiffany. He's gonna be like, what?
So, I mean, if you have a book of his, we would love to take it.
It's not really a diary or anything about his. It's not even.
You can see it and decide if you want it, but if you don't want
I really don't think it's going to be very
it, I
helpful.
want
But
to
I mean,
keep it. I pull it out. It's got like a poop emoji on the cover.
Interesting. You're like,
it takes him like 2 seconds to go through.
all right, well, if you don't mind, I would like the Keeper of Tomes to look this over. I will let him know that the owner is not interested in parting ways with it, but the Keeper of Tomes, this is something that we don't have yet. And the Keeper of Tomes likes things that we don't have. He may or may not make you an offer, depending on how important he thinks it is.
Make you an offer.
So let me submit it to the Keeper of Tomes. We'll come back at the end of the night. We'll see what happens, okay?
Okay. Wait, can you tell me what the funniest joke in it was that you liked?
Can you come up with a really funny joke?
Which one was your favorite?
Hold on. I'm ready for this. Hold on. Just talk amongst yourselves. Hold on, I gotta think of it. Hold on.
Why do you ask questions like that for me?
I want to know his sense of humor.
I literally watched a video of like dad jokes literally 2 days ago. I like best dad jokes. Oh, okay, here we go. The best joke that I thought was, yeah, what do you call people who worship Buddha?
What?
Buddhist?
Buddhists? Okay, thank you. There was one that was
I thought that was
about.
the joke.
Oh, that was It's like, that wasn't funny at all.
I wonder if Buddhists, like, whenever they wonder, like, you know, kind of like what Jesus would do, like what Buddha would do, if they're just like, Buddha coulda woulda.
I thought you were saying, what that Buddha do?
Buddha coulda woulda. I thought that one was pretty funny.
That is very
That's
funny.
good. That's good.
It's pretty funny.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
calling?
What do you call a cow with no legs?
What?
Ground beef?
No, wait. Oh, you said cow. I thought you said cat. With
Oh, I thought you said cat too. I heard cat.
Oh, cow.
Cow.
Yeah.
What do you call a cow?
Ground
And so Moldron flies over, grabs the book. All right. Is there anything else about the undead that you'd like to know?
No.
I don't believe
Very well. I'll go ahead and grab the next expert, which will be. Oh,
Well, Telemachus, did you want to ask him if he knows anything about?
Oh, yeah.
Is Xanthoria
Xanthoria.
undead? Do you know anything about the word Xanthoria?
actually, I think we might have something on that. I don't believe that's in my field of study.
Okay. Do you know offhand what field of study that is?
Let me get back to you on it. I think. Yes, hold on. Give me a moment.
Sure.
And he writes off with that name. So go ahead and roll me another dice and see who comes back.
10, which was the Rod of Law and possible locations.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Do we know who has the Book of Valdarkus?
Yes.
No.
It
We
is
do?
Lord Vecna.
He has it or he
Or no,
wrote it?
that's what was rumored.
He's the author.
So we don't
He is
know
the
where it
creator
is.
of the Book of Valdarkus.
Okay.
He is the person
that
who created it.
Asmodeus told you who had it.
That's why I didn't know.
He said it was in the Undermountain somewhere,
Okay.
if I remember.
Oh.
But I can't
He's
remember
in the Undermountain?
specifically where.
Asmodeus said that his communication to the Undermountain is blocked at the moment, but he says he does sense its presence somewhere there. But Asmodeus is like, oh, I'd totally be able to like normally pinpoint it, but because of my relationship, because of the magic that Hallister has put up on his Undermountain, it's limiting how far he can see down from the Night Hells.
But that's the only reason. Otherwise, I would totally just be.
Yeah.
I just don't want to try that hard.
Thank you.
He's like, I'm pretty sure it's
Let one of
under
my
there.
crew.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
He's in underwear.
He's like, yeah, I could totally tell you, but I need you to, prove your worth as a disciple of Asmodeus.
Yeah,
so
totally.
You need to prove that you can figure it out yourself, or else there'd be no point in having you as a disciple. So
Yikes.
I totally 100% know where it is.
So, so that person goes. Another person comes back. This is gonna make you laugh. This person comes back, and you see a very wide set
Fat
figure
Crimson.
in black cloaks,
Man.
and you see a full-on orc in these black cloaks as he pulls down. Hello. So we were mentioning the Rod of Law, and he speaks highly intelligently, super poised. However, you notice there is a familiar headband he's wearing on top of his head.
Intellectual headband?
It looks pretty similar to the one that Telly owns. That is wrapped around his head as he removes his. Here, I'm gonna show you what he.
But it shouldn't work in here, right?
I'm gonna show you what it shouldn't.
Yeah.
So he's just wearing it for slap.
Maybe.
He's got a good sense
Well,
of
we only
fashion.
know that spells don't work, right?
Yeah, I
Well,
wanted
no,
items.
my item doesn't work. My cloak doesn't work.
Oh, your cloak.
Oh, snap.
That's right. Okay.
Hard to say. I don't know. Gotta ask questions.
Which would mean then that my shield wouldn't work in here, or does my shield still work?
I don't know. Does it work?
It did, but I didn't. So it does. Okay. So some things work and some things don't.
Pretty cool, right? So, this orc begins talking very eloquently. Yes, so, the Rod of Law, I believe we were asked for that too.
Oh, yes, that would be me.
The Rod of Law, yes. Very powerful artifact. Actually, used to be called Rod of the Seven Parts. But, since the Spell Plague, with the Society of the Netherese originally had the Rod of the Seven Parts. And then he goes, let me just double check. And he goes through his book, and just like the other person, you see his eyes glow up, and he just skims the book, and then his eyes go back He goes, yes. Yeah, the Netherese were the ones who were the original owners of the Rod of the Seven Pod.
Netherese?
Yeah, before the Spell Plague. And then once the Spell Plague hit, Mr. died, and all magic was torn asunder. Magic didn't exist for a number of years. That is when the Rod, when magic was reintroduced, when the new Mystra was reinstated, when the god was not resurrected, but of course, a new person took the name Mystra. As the god of all magic took place, the Rod was combined into what's now known as the Rod of 3 parts. No longer 7 parts, just 3. The Rod of Law, powerful artifact of lawful nature, created by it was created by a demon lord, but the disciples of them were a part of the Netherese culture. Powerful magic users of ancient times. That's why a lot of people who are looking for lost magical artifacts, adventurers, are always going to the ruins of the Netherese, up to the northeastern parts of Faerun. You don't really see people looking for Netherese artifacts in the Salt Coast. Rod of 7 parts, with the Rod of 3 parts, now that it's known for, of course, originally owned by a demon lord, but when it got into the mortal realms, the demon queen, called the Queen of Chaos, she was known to be on the lookout for this rod to free her husband, who lies on the yes. Let me double check my book here. Forget what layer it was on. On the 14th layer of the Abyss, and of course the Abyss having infinite number of layers, exponentially increasing every day. But the 14th layer of the Abyss is home to Miska, the Lord of Chaos, and then the, of course, Queen of Chaos, the unnamed. She's just known as the Queen of Chaos. But we know that the original owner of the Lot of Ra, Vati, not a reference to. There's a game. I don't know. He has like a green cap or something where Vati. Never mind. Sorry. Vati is an enemy in Legend of Zelda Minish Cap.
So this is
like
not
Vatu
actual
from-
information.
Yeah, sorry. Vati is an actual person. He is responsible for sealing away the demon lord Miska.
Oh, Vati is.
Miska was sealed away by Miska with the use of the Rod of Law. The Rod of Law is the ultimate artifact of lawfulness. It says that anyone who is fully attuned to all 3 parts, their alignment will immediately change to lawful, no matter where it is on the spectrum. And
Kelly.
Get that shit away from me.
And no matter and while they are wielding the rod, their alignment is unaffected by any other alignment changing.
Cool.
It cannot be changed or swayed under any circumstance while they are attuned to that rod. And it is while having full powers of the rod accessible, it is known that creatures of chaotic entities who are considered hostile to the owner of the creature are they run away in fear. Like they can't be near it. They're like chaos creatures. Like it emanates so much lawfulness that it's like a high pitched squealing noise to them
I see.
when being in vicinity.
Interesting. Could be helpful in bigger.
I figured we would just turn off the AC.
I got it.
I got it. Oh, you just turned it back on. It's closing.
It's closing.
Yeah, so he's like, Cliff Notes, Vati used the artifact, and then the artifact got dropped into the mortal world, got taken by the Netherese, and then when the Spell Plague hit, it reformed into the Rod of 3 parts, but then the Netherese thought it was too powerful of an artifact to be held into the hand of mortals, so like the Dragon Balls, they broke it, and it went pew, and it essentially splits into,
Like the dragon.
I love how this guy is just referencing all this pop culture, much like the Dragon Balls split.
And they can be the rod of 3 parts can be split.
Oh yes, I know the ones.
Like it's canon all of a sudden in our world.
The rod of 3. But wouldn't it be cool though in D&D if there were like 7 artifacts, and if you gathered all of them, you could cast the wish spell?
Yes.
Is that a thing?
That's too crazy.
That's
That plot would never work.
I would never.
No, so
work.
I'm asking him. I'm like, is that a thing?
It is now.
It's canon.
And then the 3 parts went away into the material plane to be found or discovered at some point. But its main use was keeping the demon lord Miska locked away, and it's been known that the Queen of Chaos is trying to recover the rod to free her husband.
And where's her husband? I tried to get that.
14th layer of the abyss.
I thought that's just where they live.
Locked in his own home.
Okay.
Locked in his own home? She can't get in there? You kicked her out? Showed him keys?
So it is like think of it as an imprisonment spell. You are there, but you cannot move. You cannot talk. You cannot speak. You cannot do anything. You are just bound in space and time.
I see.
In the Rod of Law powers, give you. I believe they give you powers to revive the dead. They give you abilities to heal and inflict damage on multiple creatures. It gives you the ability. It protects you. It wards off chaotic entities. It keeps. Yes. Keeps chaos away. Makes you a little bit more resilient. All those things. Very powerful magical artifact. Does a lot of different unique things. But be wary that it will make you lawful towards everything. So be careful that it can change the person you are. It can take hold of you. That's how powerful the artifact is. It can literally change who you are as a person. So not one to be taken lightly, but no, thank you. Of course, yeah.
So we don't know where the pieces are on the other.
I mean, they can be anywhere.
Taryn and I kind of like wink at each other.
Almost as if 2 of the pieces could be right here in this very room.
They could be anywhere. They could be right in this room.
They could be in this bag.
But that would be ridiculous, right?
It's like slung across his back.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, they can be anywhere. Yeah. Anyways, that's basically the gist of it. Yeah, something about it gives you more resiliency against spells. It makes you a little bit more formidable, a little bit more durable if you like land a hit. Can revive the dead. Can repel chaotic creatures. Changes you to being a lawful creature. Yeah, lots of cool stuff. Very hard to find though. Lucky for those who have ever been able to wield the completed artifact. Not many will willingly want to do it because it, can be a completely different person by the end of the attunement.
Plenty of risks.
Yeah. I mean, like one day you could be stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, and the next day you can be like, stealing is stealing. I'm not going to do it.
That is true.
Yeah, it
Sounds
has,
like trash.
yeah, it hasn't been known from our archives from the Netherese. It hasn't been known to change like evil from good or good to evil, just from neutral or chaotic to lawful. People who have been evil have remained evil. People who are good have remained good. Just they go about their good in a different manner, or evil in a different manner, neutral in a different manner. I think that's all the information we have on that at the moment.
I like it.
Flicks a little bit at earwax off to the side.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
The other gentleman, he gave us his name, Varion. What's your name, sir?
My name is Little One.
Little one.
He stands like 8 feet tall.
Thank you, little one.
Yes.
Is Tully wearing his headband?
No headband.
You too, mate.
God
started off of Nah, you don't want to know about me. Yeah, well,
Or we just ask your name.
he goes, basically, I got this headband before the Keeper of the Tome gives me special permission to make, I'm sure if you've noticed, a lot of spells don't really work, or if you try to light fire here, it won't happen. But the Keeper of Tomes is able to provide exceptions when necessary. I ended up killing a halfling early on in my life, and that halfling was an adventurer, and I stumbled upon this, and I just so happened, I thought it looked like a fancy crown, thought it would befit a king, and then an hour later, feels like I woke up for the first time and experienced life in a different light. And I went back to where I killed that halfling, and just, what a horrible thing that did. It's like I feel like I didn't know any better. I didn't even know any better. I killed him because it was fun. No real reason. And Little One is not my name, but it is a name I give myself to always remember the life I took, whose life gave me a new life. Here at Canopy.
Did you just make that up?
No.
Okay. You could have fooled me.
That's really cute.
Wipes one little teeth from his eyes.
And I just try to do honest, good work and try to spread knowledge as much as I can to hopefully repent for my sin of murder. And Keeper of Tomes. You okay?
Hi.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways, he walks away.
Sin
Bye.
of murder.
He fucks off.
Yeah.
Get a load of this guy.
Sin of fucking murder.
A 1, which is fungal diseases.
Oh,
Here we go, baby.
We came here for.
You know, maybe it's good that Telly's getting sick because we're gonna
I know, I can trick you.
we're gonna learn a lot about it.
Okay, so you see the original.
Sick check?
Huh?
You failed the sick check?
Yeah.
That's why I mean, I don't know metagaming. Telly doesn't
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
Sarah remembers. I failed it with like a 3.
Yeah. So you see. You see Varian come back with another elven creature. This one male, a wood elf, more kind of like a pale orange skin
like my mom.
with blonde hair, very pointy ears. Hi, you asked a question about Xanthoria, and I didn't really have much information on it. It seems to be a little outside my expertise, where I'm an expert in. But this is Zaelith, Lightleaf, and he knows all about nature and things that happen in nature. And you mentioned a fungus, has to do with mushrooms. I figured I'd grab him, and I think he might have something you guys will like. Because that name, that thing that you, well, I know it's a name, that you mentioned, it was a direct hit. But and you see Zaelith going, and he just goes, "Ha! Right, your bag, not mine." Very well. So I'll let Zaelith take over things here, and well, happy knowledge.
Thank you, Tarynn.
He goes,
Wait, what's your backstory?
"Fuck you!"
I'm fucking off.
Oh, me? Oh, I just I went to college. I love books, and here I am.
Fascinating.
It's great. Anyways. See ya, weirdo.
You went to college too?
Because it's still right here. Yes, and you see Zaelith step forward, a wood elf.
I like that name.
Zaelith Light. If you want to know how it's spelled,
Yes.
it is spelled Z-E-Y-L-E-T-H. L-E-T-H. And then Lightleaf, one word. Exactly how you think it would be. And Zaelith goes, "So, it appears you all are interested in some sort of fungus, and I happen to have what you almost exactly what you might be looking for. But before I get into that, you had a question. Yes.
I've never seen another wood elf. Where are you from?
I'm from the Southern High Forest.
Do you...
My God, it's his half brother.
a wood elf named
His cousin.
Penelope?
He's gonna roll a strength check. Penelope, yeah, that name sounds familiar.
She was a ranger?
I believe she was more of a forager.
Alright.
But I think she married some man and then she didn't.
Ooh. Easy. Yeah, put it in this library.
Immediately she hears.
The crack.
Yeah. Do you mind if I close that?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Oh, it's okay, Indy. You can drink water. She was. I believe she was a forager in the northern high forests. Was she like head of her tribe? Was she?
I'm gonna pull out the picture that I have because I have the half picture because she has the picture of the dad.
Oh yeah. I've seen. I don't think I've never met with her, but people have told me about her. No, very, very active wood elf in her community. Yes.
I'm gonna like put the picture back and I'm gonna just like reach out to shake your hand.
Yeah, I heard she married a human though.
Aye. Humans are cool. Humans aren't so bad.
They're okay.
Sorry, continue.
They're okay.
Anyways, yes. So, I believe you're probably looking for this.
All dramatic.
This.
And you see a book. Actually, I don't think I have. I want to send you the picture of what this book looks like before I describe it, because it's a really cool looking book.
Yes. Cool. You got a picture on roll 20.
I'm gonna send it. Yeah. Full send.
Full set.
Okay, I'm gonna send it in the comment section.
Oh. How do we?
You click the thing top right. Yeah, go there. Yeah, go there. Scroll down. That's the book.
Whoa.
Looks
Can we
like
make
the
it bigger?
thing that like Hagrid gave his students when they were doing the study of bees.
But I think instead of fur, it's fungus.
Yeah.
Gross.
Oh.
Yeah, that's gross.
So, I believe this is what you're looking for, and he holds a book so encrusted with lichen that its covers can barely be closed around its wrinkled pages. And he goes, since you guys seem to have a little bit of a personal, you seem to quote the author of this book directly. So I'll stand over to the side if you have any questions. I've read through it already, but if you all want to browse through it yourself as well, you're more than welcome to. If you wanted to find anything that maybe we couldn't understand.
Let's take a look.
Did I hear that correctly? Xanthoria is the author of this book?
Xanthoria is the author of the book, yes.
Dang. Let's take a look at that book.
Okay.
Yeah, but we don't really have it.
So as you open up the book, you can the lichen on the crust, like the crust of lichen on the spine, just kind of cracks. And go ahead and everyone make me an intelligence check of their choice.
Of their choice.
Hell yeah. Is investigation an intelligence check?
It is.
Ooh, I did well.
And basically, it'll be this roll will determine like what you can read like in between the lines.
34.
Okay.
Wow.
15 Arcana.
Okay, what is Telly gonna tell everyone else? Go ahead.
26 history.
Okay.
Mine was investigation. Sorry, I didn't say.
34.
Yeah, I rolled a 16 and I have plus 16.
Dang dang.
It's not enough.
DC was 35.
30 is impossible, by the way. Just so you guys know.
My eyes light up when I read the book.
It's
So,
like a childhood story.
These, so this book is written in common. However, the book's browned pages have become swollen and wrinkled due to age and exposure to moisture. Crumbling yellow lichen obscures the title on the front cover, rendering it illegible. Only the author's name can be seen on the front cover, on like the opposite side of the front cover of the book. Harmless spores puff into the air when the book is opened. Standing 8.5 inches tall and 5 inches wide.
Damn.
This book has been cataloged as Xanthoria. You've seen the author has been underlined, and it has been rewritten in very understandable common. And it is titled after you see the author's name. And it seems to be, as you're reading through it, it seems to be more of a journal or a diary than like an actual book.
So maybe we need to find out who Xanthoria is.
So, basic perusing this book, you find out that Xanthoria is this female talks about herself as a druid. She is a druid. She talks about worshiping Sylvanus, the god of wild nature.
What's the name?
Sylvanus. Silvanus. But she lived in a forest. She writes of her adventuring in the Northdark Wood, whose forest home was threatened by undead. You see that the journal entries start about praying to Lord Sylvanus, giving her protection from the undead. What do I do? How can I help the undead go away? How can I protect your forest, Sylvanus? Right? And then, at some point, instead of her research as a druid becoming towards more with communing with nature, as you continue to go from entry to entry, her research becomes more geared towards creating a ward against the undead. So not really caring about nature as much, just how do I protect from undead? And then you go a couple of more years go by, and then that turns into becoming a ward against death itself. How can I continue to, my age is waning. How do I continue to protect your forest? The undead onslaught is endless. I'm getting old and frail. My human form is waning. How can I continue to protect you? And her research becomes more towards creating a ward against death itself. According to the book that you read, Xanthoria never really discovers the source of the undead incursion, but more is just focused on how she can protect the forest from this undead. And then she is trying to be like, it becomes a hyper focus. How do I can't protect the forest if I'm dead. I can't protect the forest if I'm dead. What do I do? And Zalith,
Lich John. I'm just kidding.
Zalith,
Kind of.
Zalith sees you all reading over it. He notes, I don't really know what caused Xanthoria's slide into madness. That's what we're calling it here. You can definitely tell it's hyper obsessive, right? The way this human talks about its prevention methods. But you're free to look over the book as much as you can. So, written in common, Xanthoria begins with a set of scientific essays about symbiotic relationships in nature, before deteriorating into confusing ramblings on the merits of the similarities of life and death. It describes Xanthoria's numerous experiments, both natural and then eventually unnatural. One of the more thorough studies details the life cycle of a worm-like parasite that infiltrates different species of wasps. taking over their motor functions, while essentially wearing their still living bodies as a disguise so the parasite can infect other wasps. Ultimately, as you guys go towards like the middle section of the book, you see that success, I found success. I will not taint my soul with lichdom. I will follow the way of Sylvanas and do it through the natural beings of life. I have found a way to link my soul to a living life force and attain eternal life.
Sounds kind of dangerous. Sounds a little bit
Sounds
like
like
I have found a way to link my soul to the life force of another creature, thereby extending my own life.
The life force of another creature sounds a lot like
Yeah.
wisdom.
It'll be a half-life.
But that and it notes that creature is a she says, I found this sprite-like creature. Sprites from the Feywild have been known to live thousands of years, and I have found a way to link that soul to my own. For as long as that sprite lives, I live as long, essentially. So it's not necessarily lichdom, but she saw how this parasite was able to take control of a wasp and like extend its own life through the living life of another shell, and has essentially found something that lives very, very long and linked her soul to that creature. So as long as that creature is still living, right, and being fine, the creature is essentially she would like lose her phylacteries. So this living creature is like the phylactery.
Okay.
And it's in the
That makes sense.
Feywild?
It's in-
as far as you know.
Okay.
As far it's in like a, it's like a,
It's a sprite.
she notes some sort of sprite or pixie.
Okay.
And sprite and pixies are known to live thousands of years.
But I would assume that she's trying to protect that forest from the undead. She must have gone back there.
So, characters, so this is where the intelligence check would come in. The DC was 25.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Wait.
So you guys, so, Xanthoria was fearful of a surge in undead, and this is like DC 5, DC 10, DC 15 in order. So, Xanthoria was fearful of a surge in undead invading the forest and her home. In in a place that she keeps on referencing, the Lycortha Expanse. It's a cave complex that she keeps on talking about, found inside the Northdark Wood. She was seeking a way to stop the undead's spread and preserve what she viewed as the natural order of things. Most of the book discusses healthy symbiotic relationships in nature. Xanthoria spent time researching undead in the hope of gaining insight into their actions and ascertaining where they could be coming from. As Xanthoria sinks into madness, the writing turns almost incomprehensible towards the end of the journal. Many alluding to her desire to combine natural life and undead life together as one. The end of the book records several failed attempts of Xanthoria trying to extend her life through a process that actually sounds very similar to becoming a lich. But all of them supposedly failed in her chicken scratch. You see a lot of scratching out, a lot of failed experiments. There are various drawings of dissected animals, humanoids, alongside musings of the viability of experimenting on fey creatures. And then, this was the 25. The sketches of margin notes get progressively darker the further you read. The terms Mycorgi, Shidakala, and the Lady of Lichen appear several times each. Furthermore, the number 222 appears frequently scattered through the latter half of the book, devoid of explanation.
Okay.
Go ahead and everyone make me a religion check as
Crap.
you're reading that. Insight.
Insight?
Hey, that's great.
May I give myself guidance?
Yeah, you're a lore bard, yeah.
20 insight. 28.
12.
5.
Sounds pretty lichy.
Give us the book. Give us.
Sounds pretty lichy.
Sounds pretty lichy.
So-
I don't know.
So give me your numbers again.
28.
22.
Okay, cool. So you both know. So, 222 is a is if you were to look like in a catalog of fungi, cataloged at the second 122nd entry, a fungi is a specific type of fungi that is known to stay alive forever by sapping the nutrients of other plant life around it. And it is known to normally take the shape of lichen.
Oh, what were those 3 names that you said? Lichen.
Magdala. And Lady of Lichen.
Mycorda.
Macorgi.
Macorgi.
Macadala.
Can you please
Macadonado.
Macadonado.
So NYC ORJI
Okay.
and Shadakla
I was close.
SHEDAKLAH.
Shadakla.
That's
Daklava.
Were there 3 of them?
And then Lady
Just
of
the-
Lichen.
and Lady of Lichen.
Thank you.
So now I would like everyone to make an intelligence arcana check.
Oh.
Alright, I got this one. Alright.
Go for it. Good, because Arcana's gotta be you.
-1.
So close.
What does it get me?
19.
You actually take away from our scores?
Yeah, seriously. I'm ripping pages out of the book as they're going.
Crimson's like the orb of confusion.
18.
Seja?
23.
Very nice.
So, only Seja.
Oh.
Only Mordai.
Sage's like, la 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 la.
Only Mordai. You, and this totally checks out. I love this. Because in order to defeat one's enemy, one must know one's enemy. On a check of 20 or higher, a character recalls that the Abyss's 202nd layer is also known as Shadakla, also sometimes called Mycorgi.
Oh, our party is meant for this.
Hold on. The Abyss's 222nd layer is called Shadakla?
Shadakla.
222 layers
And
of the
some,
Abyss.
there's infinite. Yeah.
Only getting bigger as time goes on.
So the 9 hells are like very structured, and they're like, we have exactly 9. The Abyss is like, as many as you want.
Chaos.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is also sometimes in older folklore called Mycorgi. So Shadakla is a more modern name of the layer. Mycorgi is the more archaic name of the layer. And on a total of 22 or higher,
Nice, Seja.
the character also knows that this layer is home to 2 demon lords. Jubilex, the demon prince of Ooze,
Ew.
and Zuktmoy, the demon queen of fungi.
Ew.
Boy. Gosh, you're
I
really
like
having
the
me
DC was
sound out
22, I
these
like
words.
that.
That's a terrible
What?
name.
I like the DC's 22. I dig that.
Yeah. It's like because everyone expects 20, but I'm like, they get a little bit higher. it's
Well,
a nice,
and it's like with the whole 2s.
Yeah,
and everything.
that's
I like
it's
it.
great.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great number.
I'm in on it.
So Jublex is Juiblex,
Hold on, sorry. Juiblex.
LEX.
Okay.
And Zuktmoy is
Ew.
ZUGGTMOY. Zuktmoy. Yeah, Dweeblex is the demon prince of Ooze, and Zuktmoy is the demon queen of fungi.
Ew.
Ooze.
So with that knowledge, you can probably put 2 and 2 together. But yeah, at the end, all you see is just 2 to 2, 2 to 2. Like the last pages of the journal are just 2 to 2, 2 to 2.
All right, we'll relay the information to the party.
We will relay the information about the fungus that lives forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, and there's no mention of like a fungal plague, but the name Xanthoria is what brought this.
Does it say where the forest is?
It says Northdark Forest.
Northdark.
Northdark Wood in the Lycortha Expanse.
In the wood expanse?
Like Kortha Expanse is the name of the cave complex. The name of the forest that Xanthoria said she was protecting was called Northdark Wood.
Okay.
You have to probably, if you don't know the geography of the Forgotten Realms, you might need to look at a map.
Is the voice that I'm hearing in my head saying Xanthoria a female voice or a male voice?
Female.
Ooh.
Okay.
Good question.
Female. Still ongoing. It's like a pulsing headache.
I was gonna say, I feel like she's just talking. I'm gonna say to the party, the voice in me head's a girl. Maybe it's that fucking
You
queen.
think it's this
She's just
demon
saying
is
her
trying to take
name?
over you? We gotta.
I can only assume.
This is really bad, you guys.
Yeah, and so with your Arcana check, right? Like some sort of contact with the demon realm, this plague ongoing.
This person is meddling with forces far beyond her control. This
Yeah.
is really bad. We need to put a stop to this.
Do we find her sprite form or do we go down to the abyss? Either way, there's a fucking demon in me head and there's a fungus that lives forever.
I think the first place we should go is maybe that forest and see if there's any other clues.
Do we know if that's where she did all of her
That's where
research?
that's what the journal says.
Okay. Oy.
Well, did you get everything you might need out of this?
Do we have any clue? Because obviously there's this plague going around. Do we have any clue where it may have sprouted from?
My guess would be this forest.
Probably that fucking cave.
But where are we? Where is the Northdark Wood? Or
Excuse me. You know, would you like a map of the Forgotten
Yes,
Realms?
please.
Nice.
While she gets it.
Could you roleplay exactly?
Fine, bitch. Just kidding.
What's your name?
So if you look, you guys are right here. Baldur's Gate is right here. The Northdark Wood is right.
Oh, and we passed through.
Here.
yeah,
We passed through the fields of the dead.
Okay, that's super
It
far.
absolutely came from there.
yeah.
So the Northdark Wood is right here, all the way to the east of the Trail to Hills, right here.
Uh-huh.
And you guys went.
Yeah.
So you guys are pretty far west of the Northdark Wood right now. You guys would go.
But it could have definitely traveled down the tradeway and.
Lots of different ways.
Because we saw it in the field of the dead or
This is
whatever.
literally how COVID happened on airplanes.
Uh-huh.
Varys, have you ever been to the Northdark Wood before?
I haven't. I've really only stayed on the Sword Coast. But I mean, I could try, and depending on, I could try.
Let's not make any rash decisions right now.
But I mean, I would have to use my highest level of magic to do it, which could help us get there. I mean, the faster we get there, I mean, maybe the more advantage we have.
I'm going to be honest, I'm very concerned about what's going on in Telemachus' head, more so than usual.
That's fair.
And the fact that it's, because I'm assuming that we were exposed at that house that we visited on the way to Baldur's Gate.
Oh, good call.
Well, you guys were probably exposed because you ate the soup.
I didn't eat
I
it.
didn't eat.
I didn't eat squat.
But if this is happening this soon, like if it takes us, I don't know how long to get that far, maybe a few weeks to travel.
Well, if
like,
it's a few weeks, then I think that if getting there is of importance, I will gladly try my best to get us as close as we there. But
Varys,
it's a little bit of a gamble, but it's a little bit of a gamble better than just going on foot.
I
Right.
don't know
Varys,
what this
can-
is going to look like in a few weeks.
can you take us to that house where that fucking old lady? Because that was in the
Maple
fields of the
Palms.
dead, yeah. Because that would get us close.
Oh, was that in the Fields of the Dead? I thought that was pretty close. That was like,
pretty. It was way far. It was like
oh really?
Because we landed in the troll claws, right? We landed like here.
you landed in two places.
Right.
Where was Mabel
the
Potts?
first one?
Way in.
Oh, she's up there. Okay, I thought she was down
Oh
here.
my gosh, it traveled all the way up there.
Oh, so it's gonna get to our city
It's
soon.
gonna get to Waterdeep.
Yeah.
It might already be
They
there.
gotta fucking go.
Lightleaf, I have a question. Is there like a, you know how, what's the thing called where he draws a circle in the ground and then we transport directly to the circle?
Teleportation.
What's the nearest teleportation circle to that forest? And do you have like a list of sigils?
Like a fast travel point, perhaps.
Oh, wait, also, is there a way that we can come
Maybe
back?
a certain blue sigil that I could set down whenever I want. Breath of the Wild.
Also, is there a way that we can come back?
Elturel should definitely have one. Triel doesn't have one, and Hardbuckler doesn't have. Elturel is more of a major city. Triel and Hardbuckler are not as are more smaller cities. But Elturel should have one for sure.
Smart. Grimmy lad. Nice job.
So we could for sure get about half the way there.
Yeah, if you'd want, I could.
Elf.
You see a Maldron come. Please give me the
Elturel.
arcane sigil, teleportation sigil for Elturel. Our esteemed guests would like to copy it down.
Oi, and can we come back with our letters? Do we need a new letter?
You are welcome for 10 days.
Yes.
A 10-day.
Oh.
And then you will need a essentially once you come here, you can stay up to 10 days, and then after those 10 days are up, you are essentially banned from the place for a month, so that different people can always be perusing.
Right.
There's always access to the public. However, if you were to get another letter of recommendation, or if it's of
Say, continent destroying
sure.
importance.
Yes, importance that we have the proof of from high-standing officials, like another from Lord Kelvin, and such, then that could be allowed access for special research, special reasons.
What if we gave you a fucking book you didn't have, then do we get access again?
No,
God damn it.
no, that's just for regular access.
Well, it did take Joseph and John.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Candlekeep tries its best to remain neutrality, to maintain neutrality through. We pride ourselves on the separation from the outside world.
Right.
Whether there's political things going on, we don't care. It doesn't affect how we treat people or how things go here. You would need another sealed letter of recommendation from a high-standing official requesting immediate access. Nothing else would suffice.
I think we can get that. We'll even know.
Well, should we at least finish the rest of the information
Yes.
that we requested?
Yes.
I'm not wearing a watch.
Um,
I don't know why.
I just looked at your
So-
phone.
you can tell the time
sundial.
by looking at your skin.
You want to buy a sundial?
Alrighty, so what was left?
We have a few more. I mean, are we still looking at Book of Vile Darkness? I don't think we got
No,
all our
that's-
information on that.
we
Or we
finished.
got some.
We
Okay.
finished everything that they know about the Book of
What's
Wild
left
Darkness.
is Xanathar, Asmodeus, Mystra, and her chosen.
Yeah.
Controlling wild magic.
So you technically didn't finish everything about the book model.
Oh.
Okay.
I'll add it in on the next one though, since it's a little.
I'm just gonna
it's
roll
small.
again because there's like
Yeah, just
half
roll
the
again.
comics are left. 5. We did that one already. That was Twisted Rune. Asmodeus. I rolled a 4.
This will work. This will be perfect. I'll add the Book of Vile Darkness in here. So, Zalith Lightleaf leads, and
Thank
my pleasure. Don't ask for my backstory. And a drow comes.
Of course.
And head down. Almost like silvery white hair, red eyes, pitch black skin. My name is Ithranel Helixes. I am the guide for all the things that are a little bit more nefarious in the world.
Pleasure. I'm Mordai.
Ithranel. So you want to know about Asmodeus, Lord of the Nine Hells, and the tainted Book of Vile Darkness. I have the 2 research notes on both of them. Which would you like to know about first?
Asmodeus.
He says, trying to keep the excitement beneath his breath.
Be cool, be cool, be cool.
Asmodeus is Lord of the Nine Hells. He rules. I feel like this is just gonna be an ego trip for Mordai. He's ruler of all
Long may
devil.
he live. Go on.
Sorry, what'd you say? Nothing.
you said all day, Taryn.
He is known as the Faerunian deity of indulgence,
Ooh.
a patron of oppression and utmost power. He is actually
the only greater deity not actually known to be a deity so much. He is considered godhood, but he never. I remember there was this one weird thing about Asmodeus. Oh yeah, Asmodeus is a primordial. He's not actually like a god. He was a primordial from the if you all are familiar with the primordial times, the ancient sundering between the battle between the gods and the primordials. He the birthing of Tiamat and Bahamut, I'm sure you're familiar with. Where Io was split in twain by Primordial's axe, and Io, the original form of Bahamut and Tiamat, split in twain, personalities from left and right. Asmodeus was actually the serpent primordial. It's known to be that his true form is
serpent.
As it's known that Asmodeus's true form is that of a scaled serpent, hundreds of miles long. His acid black blood, a substance beyond foul, exuding from eons old wounds from the battle against the gods. His form's sheer size made it impossible for him to meet and enter into conversations with other in the material plane through anything other than either astral projection or telepathic communication. He often hides the certain form in the aspect of a devil, which he envisioned the entire devil race in the form of these more mortals to be tieflings in his own made-up image of this humanoid-looking devil. He never really showed himself through, unless it was through an avatar, but it is known that his true form is his primordial serpent-like figure. It has been said that people who have gained visions of his avatars to be devilishly handsome, known to be extremely charismatic, and captivating on the surface, appearing normally as a very slim and red-skinned humanoid tiefling, people have said is 12 to 15 feet tall, wearing very red and black attire, valuable enough to cover an annual spending of any nation. But underneath these expensive garments, his body was racked with bleeding injuries that he has gained from the battle against the gods. He is known to be one of the more powerful deities, even though he is not known to be a deity even of itself. He's a greater deity, but he's the snake, the serpent primordial. It's been told that the only reason why he doesn't break free of the Nine Hells is for his own security and safety, so that he sends everybody else to do his bidding while he can protect his own safety from the Nine Hells. There's also rumors that maybe he's confined between his own contractual obligations, that he found himself in his own loophole, his own lawful nature won't allow him to leave due to the deals he's made with other deities. It's a little misconstrued there in terms of lore. These are all things we've just gotten from traveling wanderers, people who have worshipped him before, people who have said to see him in visions. He's known to be the embodiment of devilish evil, supreme strategist. He's known to be one of the most intelligent figures in all the multiverse. If you've ever heard the expression, the tortoise in the hare, he would be the slug, as we're to put it. He likes to play the long game, as we've been told. Legendary political master of manipulation, and even though he had enormous amounts of charisma, able to silver-tongue his way out of any situation, even amongst the gods, he was also known to reveal his true nature at his will if it would be to benefit his current situation, always using whatever situation would benefit him the most at the time. It's been told that he is a tyrant at heart, an authoritarian who seems to want to have everything be in orderly conduct as he sees fit, but this is a little fickle, as people have said they've gotten contrasting ideologies from Asmodeus. But this could just be his manipulative way to get what he wants. It's really hard to tell if he's being genuine, because sometimes it's been known that he has fulfilled his promises, but are those promises just to be towards an ultimatum goal 500 years later, or are they acts of just him being lawfully dutiful to his own contract? It's hard to say. I would say only Asmodeus knows himself. But according to legend, Asmodeus attributed all of his actions to the mandates of law. Essentially, if he were to do something considered like torture or murder, even in the eyes of Helm, if you're familiar with him, he's known as the most neutral of all gods. He has been known to even manipulate Helm himself, been able to murder in plain sight and torture and get what he wants, but still be so lawfully sound that in the eyes of true neutrality, it still passes. So then that brings on other discussions of, well, is he actually lawful evil? What if he is true neutral? What if he is actually a neutrality god like Helm? Because Helm also kills. He commits murder if it's need to be done. So there's a bit of an ambiguity whether if he is true neutral or truly evil. It's a very hot debate in today's times at the moment. And I mean, like the main thing, but at the end of the day, he is the ruler of hell. He controls all of the demons. Demons have been known to do quite awful things. So there are still arguments for his evil nature there, but still also an equal amount of arguments for his own neutrality across the multiverse.
Thank you. This is very enlightening. I had no idea he was a snake.
Yeah,
Yeah, back in the primordial eras, before the ancient sundering, his true form of a primordial serpent, disguised in this new form he envisioned to be more approachable towards the mortal realm.
So would you consider him to be the first devil then?
I mean, that's what our archives show, the original. But he himself is not really a devil. He more invented the term and created his servants are devils. Really, he is a devil in the aspect that he has created it, but it is known that through primordial times he is a serpent, known true.
Thank you.
Trying to still recovering from his scars from the sundering.
Thank you.
Of course.
The book of Valor.
Yes. You were going to continue on about the book?
Of
Vile Darkness?
yes. Thanks. So the Book of Vile Darkness. So it is known that the contents of this foul manuscript, ineffable wickedness, are the meat and drink of those in evil's thrall. No mortal was ever meant to know the secrets it contains. Knowledge so horrid that even glimpses of the scrawled pages can invoke madness and chaos. Most believe the Lich God Vecna. Well, we know now that the Lich God Vecna did author the book, and he recorded pages, every diseased idea, every unhinged thought, every example of blackest magic you could come across would be found in these pages. The path to lichdom, the way to siphon souls from living mortals, anything can be found here. Nature can't even abide by this book's presence. Ordinary plants wither in its presence. Animals unwilling to approach it. The book even destroying stone, reducing it to dust where it rests atop of.
Wow.
It is known that that mortal creatures take mortal, fatal damage upon even trying to touch the book. However, if able to overcome the horrid natures of the book, then one could possibly even begin to attune to it. But however, it is known to alter the user in ways of good or bad. It is it's known that it's said that completely random. It can make you stronger at things. It can make you weaker at things. It can make you more pleasant to be around. It can make you less pleasant to be around. And also, it depends on kind of the nature of who attunes to it. Major, minor, detrimental, beneficial properties can be, the blind can be cured. Skin can start to be malformed. Beauty can turn into wicked. Wicked can turn into beauty. Evil has many shapes and sizes. It can turn those of the purest heart taint. Only those who have the heart and the willpower to accept the evil should ever even think about even laying hands or looking at the book in general. It also knows that a sacrifice must be made for the power it brings as well. You must become weaker in something to become stronger in something. However, it's said that whatever you decide to become stronger in something can surpass the mortal realms of the mortal limits of society. But some sacrifice must be met in terms to do that. I believe it gives you the ability to speak a new language, some other things like that. But there are some other things that are still unknown. However, it contains all of the darkest lore that you could ever imagine. The most evil of evil creatures have touched this thing. However, we do know for a fact there is a way to destroy it. The Book of Vile Darkness can only be destroyed if all evil in the multiverse is wiped out.
Wow.
Oh, just the small,
Casual. Super easy.
Yeah. And then, of course, the same would go for the Book of Exalted Deeds. If all good in the multiverse is wiped out, then the Book of Exalted Deeds is gone forever. However, it's been known that if the book can be destroyed, but it can only be destroyed if a solar in the celestial plane tears it in two, and then it's gone for about 100 years. But it's known to reform.
And then it still comes back.
But
Huh?
now, what would be to stop someone from, if they acquired it, just to rip all of the pages out and then take all of the information for themselves, and then no one would ever be able to use it again?
And that's entirely you would have. Well, in order to alter the book, you would have to be attuned to the book.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, if you ever decide to do that.
Yes.
But whoever is the attuned owner of the book can do whatever they want, as far as we know for our records. So I mean, like, if some figure wanted to tear all the pages out, they could do that.
Thank you.
And then whoever wanted to add more could add more, wherever they wanted. The owner of the book has complete control, such as seeking into the chaotic evil nature of the book. But if you will.
Is Vecna chaotic evil? That's Sarah asking Brandon. I don't know that they would speak in terms of chaotic evil and lawful.
Right.
I believe he was known to be neutral evil.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, normally, if the book is, we've known one instance of the book being destroyed, and a solar, very high power angelic being from the celestial plane, usually found in the on Mount Celestia, tore the book in two. And then we found out that Acerak, after Vecna, had the book. And so we know that just tearing it in two doesn't fully get rid of it. So we believe that only if all of the evil in the multiverse is wiped out, that will destroy the book for good.
Fascinating.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Is there any other thing to roll? Or?
Xanthar, Mistra, Wild Magic. That's it. That's all.
And what?
And Wild Magic.
And Wild Magic. So, for the sake of gameplay, I'll fast forward the rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that cool for you guys?
Yeah.
3 more experts come out, and their names are Niven, Thalin, and Finno. And they all come to you. What would you like to know about first?
Xanthar.
Xanthar. It's known that he is a beholder who layers in the Undermountain. It's not necessarily in the Undermountain. It's actually the Underdark. It's not a part of the Undermountain itself.
Sorry,
Known that he is the leader of Skullport, where he known as a band of thieves that is under control of Xanathar. It's known that the Xanathar is just a title. It is not the name of the Beholder, and there have been multiple Xanathars over the history of Skullport.
Interesting.
Okay.
So the Xanathar you know now may not be the same Xanathar 200 years ago. They are just called the Xanathar.
Okay.
And they are usually a beholder who has exceeded the normal limits of what a beholder can access. Normally this includes additional eye rays. Normally this can also introduce hidden eyes that can awaken. The Xanathars have been known to have more than 10 different eye beams. Some more even powerful than normal recorded beholders. The Xanathar in record has always had more than 10.
Got it.
Okay. Here, it's good to know.
Yeah, very manipulative, very much selfish, very much after his own gains. But that's not any different than a normal evil creature would be doing, right?
What happens when a Xanathar dies?
Well, a Xanathar doesn't die unless another beholder really conquers Xanathar.
Oh, okay.
The only recorded deaths we have of the Xanathar has been from other beholders.
And then they become the Xanathar.
And they become the Xanathar. That's the only recorded deaths that we have at the moment.
Cool.
I can assume a lot of chaos would happen though if the Xanathar died not from another beholder taking its place. Because then they wouldn't really have a leader, right?
No?
Lots of chaos.
That would be a pity.
Right. Cool.
Cool.
Let's do wild magic.
Wild magic. So your question was what specifically on it?
Controlling it?
Yeah, controlling it.
So it says that there's very little on wild magic being controlled. However, there have been known instances where sorcerers, those who have a specific tie with magic that isn't learned, magic that isn't taught, magic that isn't gifted, magic that is just innately born or received. It's known that some sorcerers have claimed that when they are close to a knot in the weave, wild magic is more malleable.
How would you recognize a knot in the weave?
A knot in the weave would be when wild magic is able to spur from people who don't normally have a connection with wild magic. So like you could be like a normal wizard, and if you're near a knot in the weave, you could cast a fireball and a lightning bolt would come out. You could cast a fireball and it would do ice damage. You could cast fireball and then the fireball would go off and you would and you would get fat. Right? So a knot in the weave is just where more volatile wild magic is present, but those who have either undergone like an immense amount of study or those who are just naturally gifted with the ability of wild magic, it's been found when they are closer to a knot in the weave, it's known that there's more malleability with it because you are closer. Because a knot in the weave essentially is because the weave is controlled by mystery, right? All magic is controlled by mystery, and when there's a knot in it, it means that the magic isn't functioning normally, isn't functioning in a straight line. There's a knot, and so the magic is corrupted in some way. That's why when you cast a fireball, sometimes the lightning bolt comes out. When you cast wild magic, sometimes everybody turns into chickens, right? The expected outcome isn't always the same because the DNA of the magic you are trying to cast doesn't get decoded properly.
Interesting.
Because there's not. It ties into itself. It's not just a streamline of information. It fumbles on it. It fumbles in on itself. However, those who have a specific connection to wild magic have a deeper understanding of that, and they're able to pull into the knot, and it actually acts as a power source. However, it has been known that those who reach into it have been known to go insane.
Ooh. Oh, sort of like a certain someone we know.
Interesting. Nice question, Crimmy.
So people don't So it is often that question is that question is often like, hey, you should not do that because your sanity's at stake.
You should not intentionally corrupt the weave, is what you're saying.
No, so the corruption of the weave happens naturally. You should not reach into the knot and try to manifest what you want, because those who do reach into the knot and try to manifest the over complexities of mismanaged information of magic, it ends up corrupting them. And and much like how crazy wild magic is, it makes them just as
Alistair.
insane.
So you talked about Mistra a little bit. Can you dive into that off that topic?
So you were talking about the Chosen of Mistra, right?
Well, both Mistra and her chosen.
Okay, sure. What would you like to know about first?
Her.
So Mistra, there's only been one known killing of Mistra. Mistra has only ever known to been killed once. It was actually by a mortal. A mortal killed Mistra, and it was when the 12th circle of magic was allowed to mortal kind, when there were 12th level spells. And Karsus, he was a wizard. He created his own spell called Karsus Sundering, and it was a spell that could kill a god. And and he killed Mistra and took her place.
Damn.
The gods found out about this, and they killed him.
Oh, they didn't like that? That's crazy.
They did like so.
That's crazy.
So Mistra is the greater goddess of the Farron pantheon. She is the second incarnation of the goddess of magic, and her So the predecessor of Mistra is Mistral.
Mistral.
And she was killed. So it's funny. She wasn't actually fighting back against Karsus. She actually fought to protect the weave. Because for those that don't know, the reason why the spell plague was a thing where all magic went away was because of Karsus's sundering. When Karsus killed Mistral, all magic in the world, nothing. So like you could be a 20th level wizard and now you're a commoner.
But if you're a 20th level rogue,
you're fine.
You're still a 20 level rogue.
Yeah. And so what ended up and the spell plague I think lasted for maybe a decade. And then over those 10 years, due to the lack of magic and Karsus, a mortal trying to take the place of a god, he didn't really understand how to do things correctly. And all the gods kind of were like, bruh, you're done. And they all kind of put aside their differences, kind of like when they did when they sealed Tharizdun. They killed Karsus, and the event was called Karus's Folly. And then she's also known as the Mother of All Magic. They eventually found an unknown replacement. To this day, we don't know the true identity of who that ascended being was, but they found someone worthy, and then that person was known as Mistra after Mistra.
I have a question for you.
And since Mistra has taken over, magic has been reinstated into the world. Yes.
I have a question for Brandon, not in the game.
Yeah.
Is this D&D lore, like for anybody that plays D&D, like the Sundering is something everybody
it's real.
knows?
Spell plague is real. It actually happened. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because that's like D&D, Critical Role talks about that, right? They're like, oh, we're 100 years after the Sundering. That's what they're talking about.
And then she shows you all a quote from Mistra when she took power. When Mistra took power and reinstated magic into the mortal world, she took away 10th, 11th, and 12th level spells from the mortal world.
Yep, that makes sense.
She's like, nope, fuck all that shit. I'm not making the same mistake as Mistral. And she said, I am Mistra. I am the Lady of Might and the Mistress of Magic. I am power incarnate. Wherever magic is worked, I am there. From the cold poles of Triel to the hottest jungles, whatever the hand or claw or will that works the sorcery. Behold me and fear me, yet behold me and love me, as all who deal with me in honesty do. The world is my domain. I am magic, mightiest among all those men worship. I am the one true spell.
Wow.
There is no other.
Cool. I'm gonna get that from you later.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and her symbol is a white blue star. She's known as a bunch of things: Lady of Mysteries, Mother of All Magic, Mister of Magic, Lady of Spells.
So the Chosen of Mistra is just...
And then the Chosen of Mistra is a mortal who had been specifically blessed by Mystra. There's only ever one known alive at a time.
Okay.
Due to this blessing, they gained access to unprecedented magical power. Mistra's chosen were all concerned with fighting evil and imbalances in the weave. So anyone who has ever been a chosen of Mystra has known to be good-natured in one capacity.
So they probably have access to 10, 11, 12 level spells. Maybe. And that's what Hallister wants.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
10th circle.
And
Wow,
then known.
we just learned so much lore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's not. I know lore sessions are kind of like not the most interesting, but they are kind of
I
interesting.
mean, it's kind of crazy because it makes everything
Yeah.
that we've been hearing about make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but known chosens of Mystra are known to be Elminister. Kelvin is known as the current chosen of Mystra, the one that is alive right now.
And we have his handwriting.
Yeah, Elminster. He's the guy who wrote the biography on Hallister.
Yeah, he wrote the biography of Hallister.
Yep, he was the chosen of Mystra back in the day before Kelvin.
I feel like Crimson's intelligence is low, but Tate's intelligence is very high because you're putting things together that we're all missing.
Yeah, dude, Tate was the one who was like, when you guys brought the beer back up from the Undermountain on level 2, it was like,
Yeah.
wait, if we tax this
Yeah.
and then put it out to the people, and she's like, and then Tate was like, wait, no, I'm Crimson.
Wait.
Give it away!
We sell it for 20% more than it's worth, and we make this.
So with that, why don't we take like a 5-minute break,
Cool,
kind of decompress a little bit. That was a
Yeah.
lot of
We gotta
information.
Yeah.
I have so many notes. I already have more notes than last session.
Yeah. The last like 2
Ancient Archives
sessions
break.
combined.
They're really cool.
So that was a lot of information. Let's take like
I feel like I still
let's take like a
need to-
hard 5.
Quick notes.
That was very cool.
Firm
Yeah.
5.
A firm 5. Cool. So we'll be right back. We'll be back in a little bit. Just gonna take a break.
Brandon, get your
It's okay.
Yeah.
This is the arc.
It do be like that sometimes.
Yeah, it's not on you. That was an incredible session.
Oh, thanks.
But also,
And we'll see you guys next time.
Oh,
Bye.
man, I'm excited.
Wow.
Long ago, in a land filled with magic, where heroes were abundant and danger was ever present, 4 adventurers met on a quest. Unlikely though the friendship might have been, they quickly found that together they were unstoppable. Realizing this, they formed an alliance, the likes of which the world has never known. This is their story. The brave Ranger Crimson and his unpredictable wild magic. The stealthy and deadly rogue Telemachus. The caring and talented bard Tarynn. And the cunning and silver-tongued warlock Mordai. And now as the party ventures forth, never knowing what awaits, legend will hold the tales of the Valor Collective.